Alright guys, so it's going to take the next 45 minutes or so to tell you about our trip. This is our big presentation to tell you all about it. I encourage you to keep getting food as we talk, but a few of us are going to just share our story. We're going to be giving another presentation at Most Precious Blood in maybe like 2 or 3 weeks with other people that aren't speaking tonight. So you can hear about it again, and that'll be more, it'll be different. So, but those are our 2 big presentations. So I'm glad you're here. If you want to come to the other one, stay tuned for that. And before we get started, I'm going to start to pass around these little flyers. They're the dates of the mission trips for this year. So if you get inspired by the stories we're about to share and you want to come, let me know, or just, yeah, follow this info on here. So we're going to pass these out. Yeah. So, which of our lovely ladies would like to go first? I think this is a good spot. Yeah, good spot. Alright guys, we don't have a microphone, so I'm just gonna go for it. This is very much like the mission life, where you just kind of wing it. Hashtag CCM is always like that. Alright guys, so as you saw in the video, this is a Catholic evangelization mission. So we literally go to Honduras. It is a dangerous country, and there's crazy like insects and diseases and all of that. It's dangerous here too, as you all know. So it took a lot of trust and preparation. We didn't just go walking blindly, and there was like a formation process. It's a very Catholic mission, so we have like these teachings that we spiritually and practically form ourselves before we get there. And then when we get there, there's like a ton of prayer. It's like 3.5 hours a day is the norm. But it's a very, there's no hiding what type of mission this is. It's not building houses, it's not something else. Not just Catholics can come. Any Christians are welcome to come on this mission to spread the gospel, spread the love of Jesus. So that's what we did. So went, got orientation, as you saw in the video, for like a day, broke up into teams based on who can speak Spanish, who knows how to play guitar, who can whatever, and then went to different villages, regrouped, reflected on it, and now we're back. So it was pretty quick, but God came in and like made it happen. So now I am done talking.
Hey, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a freshman here at UCF, and I'm a science education major. I don't know if I'm supposed to like explain who I am. Anyway, so over spring break, I swam with major. We didn't go in blind, but like we went in blind, and I saw a scorpion, and that thing was terrifying. And like, imagine everything that could kill you, you saw it. Like, at one point, like this cow just like popped its head in the chapel, and I was like, is anybody gonna shoot it? Like, it was awesome. But it's like I feel like a lot of people think that like mission work is like everything's like super good. You get all these like warm and fuzzy feelings, and you're like, ooh, like Jesus loves me, like I love these people, and it's like, wow, that's super true. It's like God like over like flows you with like this love and like gives you like all the graces you need, like He gives them to you. But it's like the one thing I learned this mission trip is that unless you ask for those graces and ask for that strength, you're not gonna get it. Like you're not. And I know after like, so we got to the mission house and we had a day of orientation. And it was super nice, like surrounded by all these nice people that speak English from America. And we were like wore skirts and it was like super fun. And we were in the mountains and there was like a pretty sunrise. And I was like, this is like a little vacation with Jesus. And it was just super nice. And then when we went to the mountains, we got there and the person who was supposed to be told that we were coming isn't even there. So not only was there no person, like they didn't know we were coming, and all we had with us was the clothes that we brought and 2 10-gallon things of water. Like we didn't bring anything. Like we were, as missionaries, we were like dependent upon these people. Like we had no food. Like they didn't know we were coming, and they're like, it's so poverty stricken. Like they were giving to us out of their poverty, and we're like, in my head, from like the little Spanish I knew from what they were saying, I was like, we're gonna die. We ended up not dying. And it was like so hard because that next day, like in the morning, we would do house visits and we go to each house individually and we would just talk with the people and like build that relationship. And like it was so nice just to be able to go in there and just love on these people. Like some of these people, like especially like the women, like the mothers, they were just so overcome with like this shame. And it's like they felt like they almost like didn't deserve to have us there. And they looked, they like thought of us so highly. Like we would come into their house, they give us coffee, they give us food. It's like these people have nothing, yet everything in their house they were willing to give to us, and it was insane. And they're just so loving. And at one point, it was my first day, like doing these house visits, and I was tired. Like the food was like kicking my butt because I had never eaten beans in my life, and like now I'll be having beans and tortillas, and it was just so tough, and I was so exhausted and so like just like I wasn't into that drive with my prayer yet while I was there, and it's like that's when like the devil came in. He's like, you don't even speak Spanish. Why are you here? Like you're useless. You can't do this. Like you're a burden to your team. Like you have to have everything you say translated. Like you don't understand what they're saying. And it's like I had these thoughts going through my head like, I'm useless. Why am I here? Why did I come out here? Like I can't do anything. But it's like after we had these house visits, we would have these programs. And I excused myself from the adult program that was going on. And I walked outside and I sat on the porch of the church in front of the chapel. And the sun is like setting, so just imagine this like sad Elizabeth like sitting in the chair in front, like reading my journal. And I'm just sitting there like writing, and one of the readings from a Bible study or Sunday reading like a while back, it said something about how the foolishness of God is more wise than like the wisdom of man. And I'm writing this in my journal, and I was like 1 Corinthians something 25 something, and I'm like writing this, and I'm like, God, like why did you bring me here? Like I feel so useless right now. I can't talk to these people. I can't love these people the way they deserve to be loved. And as I'm writing this, like all of a sudden, like these kids like are like circling around me like I'm a zoo animal, and I'm like so uncomfortable. And I set my journal down, and this little girl Yolanda, like if you saw the picture of me and like the little girl, like this little paper doll, that's Yolanda. She's the best. And she stopped and she's just like watching me write. Every single word of doubt that I have that I'm writing, she's like watching me write. But it's like she was a child. She could hardly read. Nonetheless, read English in cursive in my journal. Like there was no way she could read it. But it's like she looked at me with these eyes that had just so much love and like compassion and caring. And it's like we didn't speak the same language, but in that moment, God taught me that love doesn't have a language. It's like, like of this doubt when I was finally I had these thoughts in my head, but I refused to like admit it to myself. Like I refused to like let it sink in, even though it was affecting me like so greatly. And like as I'm writing it, like God was like, boom, you're not useless. Here are some kids, like love them. Like and then we ended up making too much noise outside because me and these kids are like playing and like running around in the streets, like playing with a cow, like I'm talking to this little girl, I'm like, do you have a diary? Like my Spanish, like this girl, I was like, tiene un diario? And I was like, hey, escribe en su diario. It's rough, it's real rough. But it's like, in that moment, like, I knew that it's like, you didn't need to have that language to like love these people. And like from that moment on, Yolanda was like attached to me at the hip, and we were like, let's go. And the little girls were all like holding my hand, and it was just like so sweet. So it's like, first things first in this trip, like, if you want strength, ask for it. Like, God, if you're doing God's will, like, He will give you every single thing you need to succeed. It's like God does not call to qualify. He qualifies to call. But it's like, in order for that to happen, you have to ask Him to give you those graces. And then, like, love doesn't have a language, so just, like, be good people, like, I'm done.
Carlita, ¿dónde estás? Are you lista?
With everybody on spring break. So as you saw in the video, like we all got split up into groups. So pretty much everyone was with someone from UCF, and then we came also with a group from Virginia, and I got put in a group with all of them. And so like I'm like a big introvert, and I don't really like people, and so when I was pretty pissed off that I was just with them, and I was like, you know, like God's like really like if like I'm gonna do this, like He's gonna make me do this like all the way. So I was just so uncomfortable. All of them spoke Spanish. I was the only one that didn't speak Spanish, and it was the most uncomfortable week of my life. Like, what have I been doing? Like, I should have been doing these a lot. And then I started praying about it, and I realized, like, I would have never survived until now. And I wouldn't have survived if I wouldn't have, like, prayed as much as I did. Like after you do something like that, you're kind of like, how did I get through that moment? Like, I didn't bathe for 5 days, and, like, just feeling unclean that way. And it's not like I was, like, chilling out every day. Like, I was hiking in the mountains, and my hair is already like a bush, so everything is just like collecting. Just like being unclean though for like that long of a time, like I almost felt like less human almost. And so it just, I don't know, it really like works on your soul, and just realizing that like these people like live like this. And just really the conditions that we lived in, like the houses are made out of sticks, like the kitchens are like just like the pots are made out of like mud and things like that. And it's like, this is stuff that you don't hear about and people always talk about, like I went to Africa and things like this. And I, for some reason, I never really realized that like that's what I was going into. Like I didn't think we were going to that bad of conditions, which is probably ignorant of me, but it was really good for me to be so like surprised by it and just thrown into it. I definitely learned a lot, and I'm really glad I did it, and I'm really surprised that I like made it through. And just like now, like sometimes when I'm like hearing like the jugs of water on their heads like up a mountain right now, or like they're probably like grinding the corn to like make their tortillas, their delicious tortillas. Just just like things like that. And it's like the simple things that we have, they don't have, and the simple things that we take for granted, like they would never even dream of having. It was definitely, I just encourage, basically what I'm saying is, even if you're like me and like with would be pretty like bad on a mission trip. I definitely could never live there like full time. Like I would fail at it 100%. But I know that I'm gonna try to do. My goal is to try to do a mission every 2 years, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for me that's gonna be like a lot because I think it keeps you humble and it keeps you like realizing what you have. And I think that everyone, like no matter what you think you're called to or not, like everyone needs to go on at least one mission trip. Doesn't have to be Honduras, but somewhere, even if it's still in America, just like serve someone for a week, just be completely stripped of everything and just like give your all in love, because like you really get to see how God provides for you and like your true self, and it's really great. So thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Savannah Sherman and I'm a junior here at UCF. First of all, I want to take time to shout out to a couple of my friends that are here that don't use to come to CCM. So I have my mom and I have my friend Lily and Veronica and her boyfriend Chase are here and they're involved in theater with me. So I'm very glad you came because I invited a lot of people and it's really special to me that you came. So yes, I went on this mission trip as well, just like everyone else, and I didn't really know what to expect, I guess, going in. Like, I knew we were going to be, like, dirty and things like that, and I knew there was going to be, like, speaking Spanish, which I was really excited about because I really like to speak Spanish, and I wanted to challenge myself. And yeah, so we got there, we arrived, I was kind of excited, but also a lot in disbelief of like, am I really in another country right now? Like, is this really happening with like 14 people, like from CCM, like we're here in this foreign country and we're about to go on this mission. And we went to the prep time and we were just like taking this time to reflect, and I was feeling very, like, I don't know, I was just feeling very dry when I first got there, of like, okay, like, I know this is what we're doing, but I'm not, like, feeling it yet. Like, I felt like going through the motions, and I wasn't sure, like, what was going to happen, what was in store. Then we got assigned our teams, and I was lucky enough to be with Nick, actually, on my team, which was really cool. And Nick was kind of acting as the leader through this whole preparation time. And the first night we were there, we had dinner with everybody, and like I pushed myself to go out of my shell, which like it would have been really easy for me to just like sit with everyone together from like the States and from everything, and like I wanted to push myself to like try to speak Spanish with the Hondurans that like lived there, and so that was really fun and exciting. And throughout that process, I found out I actually knew more Spanish than I thought, I guess, and that was really a great thing to begin the trip with, because later on when we went to the mountains, I found myself really being able to like understand what people were saying. However, I found myself lacking in the comfort level of speaking to people, which was really hard because me as Savannah here, like, I don't know if you know me or not, but I'm very comfortable like speaking to people, like strangers and things like that, and like saying hi. And so I could do the basic level of communication with people and the house visits, but I would get to a point where I was just like, oh gosh, they're speaking to me and I understand, but I just don't know like how to, I don't even know sometimes how to answer in English, let alone translating to Spanish. So it was taking a lot of that time to kind of work on intercessory prayer on the home visits and like thinking about, okay, I'm understanding these people and I'm showing them the love through my eyes and my reactions, but I may not have the right words to say, and that's okay. Like, they appreciate just me being here and me receiving this information from them, and any little bits of prayers that I can offer. I would actually like write in my journal like some example prayers in Spanish so that I had something to say at the end. And that was really good. What else? The children were like such a delight. Like, I don't know, I guess not every village had that many children, and I was really happy that we did. And one of the girls in our team was Denise. We called her Maria because Denise in Spanish is like Venice, and that's a guy's name in Spanish. There's no like Denise Spanish name. So she was Maria for the week. And she was so joyous. She did not know like any Spanish at all, but she was like totally connecting and energetic with these children. And we were like playing games, and they were so shy when we first met them that they were like listening to us talk to them, and we were asking them questions, and they were just like quiet, and then they like ran really fast back to their house, and we warmed up to like them being able to like play with us and like wake us up almost every morning. Like they were like outside our door ready to play, and they always played ball like right in the morning, right in front of our place. And we like played this game where they try to throw the ball and hit you. It was just hilarious. So everything that like we did was just like 10 times more funny to them. Like I don't even know. It was great. But something I noticed in them was their like ultimate just surrender to yes. Like they never ever said no. They were never one to be like, I don't want to do that. It was like you suggested something, they were like, yes, yes, yes. Like let's do this, let's play, let's do this. And they're always pushing you to like keep giving that energy, which was really good to have on a mission trip because so many times you're like, oh man, I just hiked up this mountain, or I just had this long day of home visits, and I'm kind of feeling sick from those tortillas and beans. But these kids are like banging at your door and they want to play again. And so that kind of made me think of like, how am I in my life, like here in the States, like we talked about at the SEEK conference that we went on, as a Catholic conference, was the alarm clock, like a snooze button. And how funny that is that we hit the snooze button to delay our day. It's like, we're already saying no in the morning when we wake up, like, you know, I don't want to do this day, I'm gonna hit the snooze button. And there's no snooze button in Honduras. Like you wake up with the sun and these people are just alive and ready, and these kids play like hours before they have to go to school together. And this community of like yes, and this reception of all of us being there, which is such a blessing for me to learn in my own life. And I really, really enjoyed the beauty of the nature there. I like love finding God in nature, and so these mountains, like as you enter, you know, your morning is kind of dark because the church is kind of dark. There are like no windows in the church, and then you open, you know, once you're ready for the day, you open the doors to the church and let all the light in, and you come out on this like porch type thing. It's like this little patch of grass before you step down into the road, and there are this huge mountain over here and this one over here, and you see the sun coming up and the moon is still out at the same time, and it's just breathtaking. Like you just take in that and you take in the joy of the kids, and like that kept me going the whole week. And let's see what else. One night was one of my highlights, just a couple little anecdotes, like funny things that happened was, one night we were driving back from dinner, it was really late at night, and women, I guess, are not supposed to ride on the back of the trucks, like it's just not culturally okay, but at nighttime, they couldn't see us. And so Maria and I are like, come on, like please let us sit in the back of the truck on the way back home, and you can see all the stars because there's no lights at all. So we're in the back of this truck going down this mountain, and like Maria and I and Roberto, one of the Honduran guys that's with us, like we're having the time of our life in this truck, looking up, and there's like stars all around us, and we were just like, woo, like jumping all around. And that was really exciting and thrilling. And then one time I was like going to get my shoes in the back of the church, and there was like, it looked like a little bug on the wall. And I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna hit the bug or whatever. And luckily Roberto, the guy from Honduras, was there, and he was like, no, don't touch it. I was like, why not? It's just a bug, like I can kill it, like don't be all like macho man on me. And he was like, no, it's a scorpion. He's like, it can kill you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he like does this thing, and it like opens up into this scorpion thing, which I had never seen a scorpion in real life. So that was kind of cool, like. And like, and then it was mad at me because I was like, oh, let's take a picture of it. And he's like, don't take a picture of it. Yeah, and then I guess the last thing I want to talk about is like I got the whole time I was there, like I was talking to you about how before the trip I kind of felt like dry, like I'm not really sure what to expect. Like I was having a really hard time writing in my journal through the mission trip, and I was so ready to like journal, and I just didn't feel like writing in my journal. Like things were just so busy and crazy, I didn't feel like I had time to as well. But through it all, like I just felt this overwhelming presence of joy in my life, and that I hadn't felt before. So before the mission trip, I was feeling very like in church, like kind of not like I was going through the motions or anything, but I just felt like everything I was praying for was very like solemn and like, you know, like, oh please, like I'm struggling right now in this or whatever. And I was missing that joy of being in Mass and being connected with the Eucharist and being with the body of Christ and all of these people. And while I was there, I really thought about how all of us are living tabernacles. So we all hold Jesus inside of us, every one of us. And we have the light of Christ in all of us, these little kids and these family members. And this woman really, really touched my heart. I was feeling really sick one day. Thank goodness it was just one day. And I was like out, like just trying not to throw up, laying in this bed. And I was really warm and cold, like hot and cold. And this woman, like, she's watching over me for the whole afternoon. She has like this little kid and this other little kid with her. And she stayed in this room with me like the whole day. And the program's going on, so she's like missing the program, like being that part of that community. But she's like this own little community with me and like her little kids. And watching over me, she prayed over me, like pouring out these tears. And she doesn't even know me. Like, this woman is literally pouring her soul out, crying and touching different parts of my body and just trying to like pray that God takes away whatever pain I'm having, what I did understand of her prayer, you know. And I just was like, you know, saying it's okay in Spanish is something meaning like yes. Whether like in the States, if someone's like, oh, you want some water? And you're like, I'm okay, like it means no. So she was like, are you cold? Like, do you need me to like tuck you in? Like, do you need some help? And I was like, no, I'm okay. Wrong answer. Like, I like to have my feet out of the blanket. And so she proceeds to like tuck me in, which was, I couldn't resist that obviously because she was so sweetly like every little crevice, she would just tuck in this little sheet around me. And she took my feet, lifted my feet up and like wrapped them up in this bundle. And I was thinking to myself like, no, like I hate my feet being wrapped up in this blanket. But like I couldn't say no, like it was just so great. Just showing that care and tender and love affection to like this complete stranger, like really made me reinforce the fact that like God is in like every single one of us. Like everyone you see outside, like they don't have to be Christian or certain denominations, or they don't have to look a certain way, but like we all have Christ in us and we have to respect that in others and also like show that, like share that light with others so that their light can become like, I don't know, like unified. I don't know. So that was just my image.
Only going like 4 more minutes, so hang on. If those of you in the corner want to come over here, there's like a lot of empty chairs. This has to like cleared out. So if you are like can't see them. So if I just want to do something fun really quick, if you guys are up for it. It's a Honduras thing. Alright. So I'm gonna say, like you're gonna repeat after me if you're in the designated section. So we have Viva. You guys will go like go stand up, you're standing, and go Viva! Viva! Like that. You guys are Cristo. Christ. Cristo. And then like this half it's gonna be Rey. So Viva Cristo Rey. Rey. Are you ready? Yeah. Got it? You're Rey. Sure. Alright.
Viva! Cristo! Rey! Viva! Cristo! Rey!
Alright, now pay attention to my hands. Gotta, maybe if like you wanna hop on the Cristo. Yeah. Alright, watch my hands. Ready? Ready? Alright.
Viva! Rey! Cristo! Rey! 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 Cristo! Viva! 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 Rey! Cristo! Rey! Cristo! Viva! Rey! Viva! Cristo!
We got maybe 2 more people talking. Cassidy's gonna go next. She's still here. Cassidy. If not, Vanessa.
didn't see that. Oh, okay, good.
Alrighty, hello. Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I went to Honduras with them. And it's my second time going. Okay. It's my second time going. I went in July, and I had like a really big God experience and encounter with God before. And some of the same messages I got were like, you know, I felt really useless. My Spanish wasn't that good. But still, and I got really sick in the mountains because like I drank underwater, not a good idea. And I got really sick, and still through that mission on my first time, I experienced God a lot. I came back like this. I felt like a gift, like a secret gift that I wanted to share with everybody. And it's like when you find out this new favorite food or restaurant, and you just want to tell everybody about it. I was like that with Honduras. So when we got 14 people to sign up, it was like such a gift for me to see that. But the whole time we were in Honduras, I had this whole like worry. I was like, I want everyone to like it. You know, when you're like watching someone eat that meal with you, you're like, I hope they like it, I hope they like it. And I wasn't even with them though, you know, because we got split up into groups and stuff, so I wasn't with them. But my heart was praying for all of the people that were in the mountains from Sisian. And hearing their stories now is just reaffirming, like God really wanted them there. And if He wants you there, He'll get you there. So I received a lot. In Honduras, one of them being bug bites. I am like bitten of like 3 feet on my arm, like chickenpox, and my legs. It is all in the sleeping bag. But more than that, like I just love the people in Honduras. I love the poor. They really teach me something about the stripping away of masks that we can have here in the U.S. And I come face to face with how much mask I can have myself, and like, and it's not our fault, you know. In the U.S., sometimes superficiality, we're kind of raised into it. And like really in Honduras, it breaks you down and strips you of everything, and I love that. Like it really sucks seeing my mask and being like, wow, like I'm superficial in this way or whatever. But I'm thankful to God that I can see that so that I can remove it, and I can join with others that they can't afford a mask. Like the poor in Honduras, they can't afford masks, they can't afford makeup. Well, some makeup, I don't know how. They can't afford a lot of things. We have the clothes and stuff ourselves. And like they all sleep in one room sometimes, and us we can like close our door. We're very individual. With God and with each other. So I thought of the poor widow that gave her 2 cents, and Jesus was like, she gave more than the rest of you because she gave from her poverty, not from her surplus. And I think that, you know, so much. When I come here, I give from my surplus. Like, only if I have extra time, I'll hang out with that person. Or only if I have extra energy will I do this. But, like, these people, they give from their need and their own poverty. They don't have anything. And I'm so touched by that. And I want to be like that with my time, my energy, my money, my faith. Like, I want to share it all to the last drop. I'm really inspired by them and Mother Teresa. So 2 of the big things was live in the present moment. That was a big message. And unity, like unity between people. So the present moment, they were kept saying like, don't take for granted anything that you're going to experience here. Don't look at what's, you know, beyond or in the past. Look at the person in front of you. Look at the mountains in front of you. Look at the present moment and don't miss it because God's in that. And I experienced a lot of that. And we were living and eating with them. Eating with them is such a funny thing because they don't speak English, so they don't know what you're saying. And sometimes that food is just not good. It's like bean paste and salty cheese. But you have to have a smile on your face because your face says everything. And they watch you. Like my team, they watch us eat just to see our reactions. We have to be like, yay, que rico, you know, delicious. Guys, who can take this from me? Take this, you know, like we're all smiling. Like this tastes so bad. Thank you, you know, and like, but just I want them to know that like we're so thankful and we don't want to waste their food either. Like they're giving from their poverty and their need. So the last thing I want to share is just, okay, so Honduras for me, I feel closer to what it means to be a human being when I'm there. And I think that's why I really love being there. And not that I don't feel human here, I just feel more grounded in reality when I go to Honduras for the poor. And I'm face to face with like my own mask and my pride that I need to really chisel at, and God really helps me out. So I was walking down campus. I don't know if you can see this. And I was walking down campus just yesterday, and I was looking at the signs leading up to the Union. And I was looking up, and I was reading them. Okay, I just wanted to show you the dichotomy of like first world versus third world. So they say, here's a place to energize, and here's a cup of coffee. Yes, we got a lot of coffee, because that's their main export. But my energy was that. I had no physical energy on this mission. My energy literally is being with these people, like giving myself in service, being with these kids when I'm super tired, you know, planning those programs in front of the church, that's what the top picture is, like, that was my energy, not this coffee and caffeine, you know? Okay, next. The next one is a place to fill up, and it has food. So the food is not the best. We had the smallest portions because they're giving from their poverty. So like the filling up I received wasn't the food. The filling up was this joy. Like that is our host mom over there laughing. That is her all the time, like all of this joy. And that's how I was filled up in this mission. The next. Okay, it says a place to discover, and it has a computer screen on the UCF sign. Well, that is true. We discover a lot in our computer, and we discover a lot on Google. But when I go to Honduras, I didn't have a computer. Like, discovery meant learning another culture. Discovery was picking the corn that they do to earn money, making tortillas on that other looking thing that we don't have. That's discovery to me. Next. The next one says a place to socialize, and it has text chat boxes with it. That's not the case. Like in Honduras, socializing literally means being in communion face to face with another person, interacting. And even though like I can't talk very much Spanish, I established really close relationships, especially with this Honduran girl. I know her story. We had a dictionary. She knows my story, and you know, socializing goes way beyond the computer screen, and we know that. Next. Okay, it says a place to explore in its books, which is great. But for me, Honduras, like, a place to explore is these mountains or these people. I want to explore the world. I want to explore a person's heart. It goes beyond just, like, material stuff. Next. And the last thing is a place to connect, and it's, like, Wi-Fi signals. Okay, like, connection is good, but you've heard it before. People say that this connection of the first world makes us more disconnected. Because a person's right in front of us, and I have my phone in between us. And they have theirs. But like Honduras, a place to connect is different. It's when all that technology is put down. We're face to face with each other and saying, I want to connect with you on a human level basis here. And those are the children. That's me talking to Savannah one-on-one after the mission, catching up, connecting. And this is everybody, well, not everybody, but before we left for mission here at MPB. And a lot of people joined as prayer warriors that didn't go on the mission, but they were connected with us through our prayers. So like connection goes so vast. So does Wi-Fi, but nothing compared to this. Like this goes all the way to heaven with the saints and the communion and saints up there. So I think we're good again? Yeah, that's it. So I really encourage you, like, encounter the poor, and John Paul II said, in service of ourselves, in gift of ourselves, we find ourselves. And I really feel like I personally am coming closer to finding myself through the gift of myself. And I want to go back to Honduras. I have a lot of affirmation. And yeah. So thank you guys for listening.
And last but not least is
Cassidy.
And Nick, Cassidy and Nick. Okay, so I've been going to Honduras for the past 4.5 years. What just happened? Are you giggling about that? And I'm now a member of the missionary community called the Missionaries of Christ. That's who organizes this, and they've been in Honduras for over 10 years. I've been with CCM for like 8-9 years. This is it. I'm like gone in May. It's been a good long haul. And just so much has gone into this trip as like it got canceled at one point. Like the enemy has been like attacking left and right to keep the fruits from this happening. Like this is a huge deal, like in general, but to me personally, like this was a big deal. For me, it started with like it was going to the homeless shelter when I was a teenager. That's where my like heart got hooked by the poor and helping others. And then that grew to my undergrad CCM days when we were still in the little cubby in the center. We used to go feed the homeless, and like those were the things that were life changing for me. That's why I'm standing up now talking. Like I was the introvert guy, I would not be doing this. Like it was just service is what it's about. Like if we're not giving, we're not Catholic, we're not Christian, we're just walking around like dying a little bit. Like we have to get over ourselves and start giving. Like this is Lent, like let's do it. Like no more messing around, you know? Like this kind of mission is maybe not the most popular thing. Like I can't do that. Like go up in front and talk to people about Jesus, like stand in front of a crowd and do that. Are you kidding me? Like going door to door and talking about the gospel, like the stuff that the disciples literally did, like that's just too crazy. So the theme for our trip has been no more comfortable Catholics. Hashtag. And like this is what it's about. If we come to CCM to grow in our faith, to learn, like this is the end result, where we take what we've received and go share it with the rest of the world. Whether it doesn't matter, like if we've known the Lord for a day or for years, like we have something to share. A lot of us, we think like, oh, I want to know the perfect words or whatever. But from like the freshmen that are on our trip to the seniors, like it's, I don't know, we always have something to say. So for me, this trip was very much about not being comfortable. Like I said, this is my, like, I'm losing count of mission trips, like 8 or something, the past 4 years. I'm like a junkie. Like this place is where I've been called to, and I've never felt more alive in my life. Like the stuff that all the girls were talking about, like this is where you know reality. Like why the heck would I go the cold showers, the bugs, the beans, the coffee, like why the heck would I put myself in that if I wasn't madly in love with Jesus Christ? Like that's what it's about. So this one was very much a suffering Lenten sacrificial mission for me. Like I said, the enemy was not happy that was happening. So just to share a chunk of my heart, this is it. Like I'm not going to be giving a talk at a night fire or like this is Nick Higgins up here on the spotlight at no time like the present, right? Like here we go. I don't know, this is the way the Lord acts in my life. It's not in like the chapel and the quiet comfort, like it's not in the Saturday night retreat moment, it's in daily life, like in the middle of Mass and meal with the projector, like this is how it is, you know? It's like, so, anyway, sorry, I get this, okay. So, I get all fired up because I'm passionate. So, it started with these crazy attacks. When we got there, by the way, this cough, I've had it for like a week and a half. Little recuerdito, a souvenir from Honduras. She drives me nuts. Just right away, Melissa. Hey, Melissa, can I mention Haiti?
What?
Can I mention Haiti at the end?
Dinner time.
Okay, what date?
What date? I don't know. What?
Are there
Yes. They're pretty much all full, but you can check us out on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're good. Sorry, that was distracting to me. Suffering, Lenten, sacrifice. Here we go. All right. So, I got there and heard like different things were going down. So, the missionaries were like having trouble sleeping. Like, there was supposed to be a priest for our team, and that was like a huge miscommunication where he couldn't end up coming at the last minute. So we normally will get Mass at least once or twice during the week, but there was no Mass, no sacraments, nothing. The people in Honduras get Mass once a year in the villages. Once a year. Can you freaking imagine? Once a year. So there was this thing with the priest, and then we get to the airport, and for those of you that don't know yet, Cassie was very much a part of this team. She's been with us from the first garage sale back in December to the benefit concert that we did here. And this mission has been more about than those that were physically there in Honduras for the week. Those of you that have been praying for us, like you were on this mission trip. Like this is how these things work. So we got there and going through passport control, and they checked your passport, and Cassidy's showed up in the system. So it turns out Honduras has this rule that if your passport expires in less than 3 months, like if you go to another country and your passport expires in less than 3 months, you can't get in. So hers was going to expire in like 4 weeks or something. So she was here preparing and did everything with the team, and we get there, and she had to get on the plane to go back, and she was not able to come. Like, so Cassidy can say a little bit about how that was for her, but like that was an attack from the enemy. Like, what the hell just happened? Like, what the hell? Cassidy's getting on a plane and she's not coming. Like, what just happened? You know, like, this is a reality. The Lord has huge plans for those of us going, for those of us praying, for those that are going to meet there. Like, the enemy's going to do whatever in his power to keep this from happening. He's going to distract people right now to not listen to this message, and they're going to go off and do whatever. Like, it's always like, we're in this spiritual warfare. But we know that he is alive in us, and that he is more powerful. So we cannot be afraid. But when you're in the middle of it, like, it's tough. So, Cassie, like, do you want to jump in, or do you want me to keep? Okay.
So I had to go to El Salvador, and then to catch a plane to the United States. And throughout this whole experience, me and Nick were waiting for hours. Back to here in Orlando. And throughout all that, like, it was a lot of pain and suffering, and I don't know what is going on, but at the same time, like, I found joy in, like, the little things, and like seeing snow in JFK at the airport, like things like that. And it really just showed me, like, throughout this whole week during my spring break to, like, find joy in the little things, that like, even though, like, the enemy did, like, come at us in the mission, that, like, God is still present in, like, the little things that you just have to, like, find. And, yeah. Like, it was difficult, but it was something that it was in, like, God's plan, and, like, I know that, and I wanted to share with, like, you all, so that, like, you guys knew that, like, I was okay with, like, talking about it, and, like, having you guys understand, like, what happened.
Yeah. So Cassidy was like a mess. I was somehow strong. To be honest, I mean, this crap just goes down. Like, this is the natural human response. And so I was somehow, like, not, a mess. Also, I wanted to break down and, like, whatever. And like, the Lord gave me the strength to do what I had to do. And then we, like, this Honduran guy was there. Sorry, that's this Honduran guy was like this angel. Okay, he's not actually an angel. He's not actually a saint. If you want to be theological, but he was this blessing to us that, like, in this moment, and he, like, all this craziness was going, but he was just there. There were two of them, actually, two Honduran guys, and they're just, like, walking us through this. They're like, I don't get why your country won't let you come through. It was the U.S. that, like, they called the U.S. embassy, and they're like, or whoever, the U.S. whatever, immigration, and they said, no, she can't come through. And he's like, I don't get it. Like, you're coming here to help my people. Like, this doesn't make any sense, but I have to do this. Like, this is what we have to do. So they were like, we'll get you McDonald's. Like, they're taking care of her, and all the way to, like, she was about to get on the plane, and the guy with the he, like, called me. I was going off to the mission house, and he stayed with her the whole time, and was like, she's getting on the plane, and he called, like, he did not have to do that, like, Jesus. So that was the theme for me as well. Amidst the suffering, like, we had a holy hour when we got there, and that's when I let it out. Just the tears were coming down, and, like, I was just like, Lord, this hurts like hell. I don't get it. I don't understand. This just sucks. Like, it's good to be genuine in these moments. But I trust you. Like, that's the thing. So halfway through the week, then Savannah and I got crazy sick. If you get like a drop of the water, sometimes there's the risk that you get throw up and diarrhea and everything. Savannah and I got like the worst sick. And once again, like it hurt to see. I brought Savannah here to this place that I told her like it's amazing. There are these difficulties, but like come. So then seeing both of my little sisters being hurt by these different things, like it sucked. It was hard. I'm like, Lord, I trust you. So fast forward to the end of the week, I made the commitment ceremony to become a member. Like I've been like it's called an associate member, but now I'm like, it's called a committed member. I can tell you more about that if you want to know. But that's what love is about. It's, can you say yes in the middle of the suffering? When the warm fuzzies, the consolations have worn off, and like you're gonna have to suffer, and your loved ones are gonna have to suffer. That was the new thing that I learned this time. Like, okay, Lord, I can go get sick and whatever, but like my loved ones that I'm bringing here too, like if they get like they have to suffer too, like what the crap. Like so sorry no language, but so that's what love is. That's what true love is. Like I surrender. Like really, like I take the cup. Not my will be done, but your will be done, Lord. Like that's what mission is about. That's what service. That's what all these beautiful things we hear about are. And it's when we start to experience it, that's when transformation happens, and we become the saints that we are called to be. So I gave that passionate yes, despite all the craziness. Like, thanks be to God who knows that. Like, I went on another short-term mission like 2 months before, and it was like the best. So many consolations, like such a joyful. Like I was on fire, like doing like. He knew that I needed that 2 months before, but this time like I was ready. He never gives us more than we can handle. Like I was ready to be stretched, like Elizabeth, like Carly, all of them were saying. So yeah, it's a little chunk of my heart, passionate about this mission, like crazy. If you want to come, let me know. If you don't want to come, there are other awesome missions that people are also called to. Melissa is going to Haiti, or she went to Haiti. She goes to Haiti with Light Team. It's another Catholic mission. The University of Miami is going to Haiti, not with Light Team, but with Missionaries of Charity to work with babies. So there's different mission work out there. I will say that I saw all the different types of mission work, like with the homeless, with everything here. And poverty in the developing world is different. Like, that is the poorest of the poor. Every homeless person, everyone in the States has access to clean water. That's one huge difference. Then, like, should we care about the rest of the world? We have our poor here. Like, that's the answer to that. I think everybody that lives in our very blessed culture should go for 1 week in their lives to see what it's like. And not just like a resort or something where you just see from a distance, but like you're sitting, like that's what we do. That's how it is. Let's like go into their houses, eat their food, speak with them. If you can't speak with them, just sit, look at them, like be loved by them. That's what we heard. So I don't know. Yeah. So that's it.
By the way, all right, okay.
If you have questions, if you have any questions, I'll be free after for a little bit. I don't know about the rest of us, but those flyers have the dates, so please pray about it and consider coming. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm probably going there for 2 months this summer. Like, I'm moving to Honduras. Really into it. So if you come on the short edition, I'll be there.